Hey everyone, welcome to our Facebook Live here in the Facebook group Women Coaches in Bloom. Happy Monday. You're in the right place if you're here for the 4 common mistakes that slow down your coaching income. Who wants that? Type a 1 in the comments if you want to know the 4 common mistakes. And before we dive in, let's begin the way we always do, which is to take a moment to ground. Welcome. Glad to see you on here. Feel free to post your name in the comments so I can say hello to you. And I'd love for you to take a few moments to join me as we take a few moments to ground. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 breaths. All it takes is 3 breaths. 3 breaths. And on the exhale, you're going to exhale as though you're exhaling through a straw. So inhaling now. And exhale through a straw. Inhaling again. And exhale through a straw. One last time, inhale. And exhale through a straw. And take a moment to give thanks for the stillness. Noticing any sounds around you. Any sensations in your body. And thinking of 3 things that you can be genuinely grateful for. Is it that you woke up this morning? Is it that you're fired up about your next business idea? Is it a warm hug or kiss that you got from your child? And just taking a moment to remember, repeat this to yourself: I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And so it is. And as I count down from 3 to 1, gently preparing to open your eyes. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Welcome again to the 4 common mistakes that slow down your coaching income. Welcome, Akosia. Nice to see you here. For those of you that are meeting me for the first time, my name's Kadidja Yansane. And before I tell you more about me, type a 1 in the comments. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know where you're tuning in from. So I'm the founder of bloomintoyou.com. If you haven't checked out my website, please check it out. I'm also the creator of the Client Creation Queen program, which was designed specifically to help my clients, get paid, and really feel like they're living their sacred calling. I know for me, most of the people that I talk to, I would probably say, most of the people I don't even think that I've actually spoken to someone that part of the reason why they're even starting their business is they want to feel like they're living their purpose, that they're really utilizing their skills. And I always say that I feel like starting and growing your business is a vehicle to really be a vehicle for your self-expression. So type a 1 in the comments if you can relate that your business feels like it's a vehicle for your self-expression. I've also coached and consulted with dozens of Fortune 500 companies like Visa, Charles Schwab, Clorox, and Robert Half, and more. I've trained directly with some amazing thought leaders, 7-figure thought leaders in our industry. Some of the things I help my clients do, I've helped my clients get their first or next paying clients, which is always exciting. I've helped clients reach their first 5-figure month. I have helped clients start and grow their own communities. I have both facilitated workshops, events online and offline in the areas of personal growth and business development. And I'm also a mom and a wife, and I know what all the things are. put on your shoes. It's time to go. What are we going to have for dinner? And laundry, all of that good stuff. So type a 1 in the comments if you can relate to having a full life. There's a lot that you have going on, yet you still like your business is a part of it. I know it absolutely is for me. So today I wanted to share 4 big mistakes that can slow things that I've seen in my practice. I've seen it in my own practice and in the practices of my clients that have slowed down their earning. Because sometimes when you hear mistakes, it just really supports you. It's like, oh, I probably don't want to do that. It's like a big red sign. So I'm going to dive into mistake number 1. And mistake number 1 is not marketing enough. I talk to so many people who have a story that I call it a story, that they hate marketing. So let me know if you feel that way. Maybe you don't hate marketing. Maybe it feels uncomfortable. I've spoken to a lot of women who feel like, and it doesn't mean that they don't do it. Some people still do it, but yet they can feel some discomfort, feeling like they're talking too much about themselves, talking too much about their business. And so the thing is that if you're not marketing enough, so whether that's an event, whether that is a workshop, a webinar, whether that's, even a consultation to get on the phone with you and find out if you could support someone, if you're not marketing enough, it's not going to lead to you making money and getting clients. And the mistake that I see is oftentimes people will just promote something once. I have so done all of these myself. So I don't want you to think that I'm here on my high horse saying, this is what I see you doing. I've done all of these things and I see it over and over again in my business. So oftentimes I'll see someone, like maybe they might post their event. So maybe it's on Eventbrite or a Facebook event. They put something out there and say, hey, I have an upcoming workshop. And if no one likes it or comments on it, then they make up that people aren't interested. And because they're now feeling like deflated, I was all excited about this event. I put it out, no one said anything. So then you lose steam and then you stop marketing. So type a 1 in the comments if you've ever done this. I know I have done this, so I've had a meetup for about 7 years. And I know the difference between when I've had consistent marketing versus just posting once or twice. Like we need to hear things and see things over and over again before we take action. And you can think about movies, right? So when you see trailers over and over and over again. You're like, and it's probably not until the 5th or 7th time that you're like, oh, that's that movie with that person. I might want to go see it. And it's the same thing with music. You need to see things over and over again. So I want you to begin to think about your business as a movie. Right? So if you had this big movie, and people even do this, like if you had a wedding, you'd probably talk about your wedding. You sent out notice like for people to save the date. You keep letting people know, did you get babysitting? You don't want people to miss your wedding. And so that's the same approach that you need to have with your marketing efforts. And I wanted to say that like I've done events where I just lightly promoted, like I put it out once or twice. And I got one person or maybe no one came, versus when I'm like, I want to fill the room or I want a certain number of people to attend my event. There's a different energy. I show up consistently and I keep marketing until the end. That means the last day, up until, your doors close. If it's at midnight, like let's say your event's on a Saturday and you say Friday at midnight. So you keep talking about your event, or whatever it is that you're marketing until the very end. And so often I have seen clients who didn't get anything until the last day, but they stuck in there. And it's like, wow, if you didn't wait until the last day, you wouldn't have gotten that sale. And so sometimes you might notice a trend. This is why you really want to keep track of your marketing efforts, that you might notice that sometimes in the beginning, people are really excited to buy, and then maybe there's a dip, and then maybe, right before doors close, that you might see an uptick in sales. So the first mistake is not marketing enough. So you want to market, you want to show up and be excited about what you're sharing all the way until the very end. And one of the reasons why people stop early is, like I said, that, people didn't like or comment or didn't buy. So people will make up that people don't care, aren't interested, don't want the offer. And so when that happens, you lose steam, lose confidence, and don't show up. And the reason I brought it up again is I spoke to someone recently. She was saying that she'd been following me for a few years, but I'd never seen her before until she booked the call. But she was liking, she never liked or commented on anything. And so I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, that you don't want to let the amount of likes or comments that you're getting deter you from being committed to what it is that you want to offer. So market all the way until the end. Type a 1 in the comments if you're committed to marketing until the very end. So mistake number 2 is not having a sales strategy. I think that it can be really challenging to get clients if you're just winging it. And so I know what it means to wing it. I winged it for a long time. And a lot of clients, when they come to me, will literally say, I feel like I'm just winging it. And so if you do that, your sales can be hit or miss. And you really want to have clarity on what is your sales goal in the first place? Like, how much money do you want to make a month? What is your offer? Is your offer going to allow you to meet your income goal? And you want to have a process that you can do over and over again. So it's not like every week you're like, what am I going to do this week? What am I going to do next week? And I know, like, if you're anything like me, I'm seeing some ones in the comments. If you're anything like me, like most of the people that I work with are really into personal development and growth, and they love programs and they love learning. And it can be very easy to get stuck in a vicious cycle of like chasing the next shiny thing. And so I've definitely have had clients who are like, okay, Kadidja, I'm going to do the Facebook group. And so before the Facebook group gets, any traction, they're like, no, I think I'm more of a speaker. I want to do live speaking. And then like before that gets off the ground, then they're like, no, I think podcasts will really be the thing. So type a 1 in the comments if you can relate to feeling like, I thought it was Facebook, but maybe I should try Clubhouse, or I went to Clubhouse. It was hot in the beginning. Now it's diminishing returns. Or so it's like, if you don't give something a chance, a marketing strategy, a sales strategy, a chance, you're not really giving yourself a fair opportunity to actually succeed at that. And so one of the things I did earlier in my business was I hosted a weekly women's group every week. And it was in my living room every week. And I'm not saying that you have to do it every week. Maybe it's every other week. I mean, I'm here on Mondays, most Mondays at least. And that consistency is not only good for you, but it's good for your audience, for your clients. And you want to have a consistent sales strategy that like, okay, if I do this, then I'm going to book some calls or I'm going to get a new client. So the point is to have a plan, to have a strategy, and you want to ask yourself, like, am I winking it? Or do I actually have a strategy that I'm implementing that is going to book me calls and help me enroll new clients? So type a 1 if you're with me. I do want to make a distinction about showing up, is that I will say that like there are some people who are very visible and they show up, yet they're not being visible in a way that positions them as an expert or guide. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So there's different types of posts. There's different types of sharing that does different things, right? So like there might be an engagement style of being visible where you're engaging with your audience, which is a good thing to do because that builds connection and rapport. Or if you're just posting inspirational quotes or things that inspire, I want you to ask yourself, like, is your content letting people know that you could help them with a particular problem? And we're going to dive into that a little bit more in a moment, but it's not just posting for posting's sake, but it's posting that's offering value to your audience and helping them see that, like, if they're looking for deeper assistance on this issue, that you're a potential person that they could actually hire to help them. So mistake number 3 is underestimating the importance of mindset. And the reason why this is a mistake is because, if you're here, I imagine that you're already someone who works on themselves, has been working on themselves. That means you read books, you probably do trainings or have certifications, or like you're in the space of developing yourself and on your personal growth journey. So it can be really easy with mindset to feel like, oh, I know that already. However, once I'm in a conversation, if you're already working with clients, you probably see places where your clients get stuck in their mindset. And the mindset thing does get illuminated in a coaching conversation. And so the thing is as long as you're on this spiritual, business, personal growth journey where you're having to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, it's going to be easy to get triggered by other people, what they're doing, your own fears and doubts. And so you want to make sure that you have something that you're doing on a consistent basis that is going to fortify your mindset. And so for those of you that are watching, like, what's a mindset practice that you have that you use right now that you feel like really supports you? And so this is not to be taken lightly. Your mindset is everything. That it's the thoughts you think, it's the beliefs you have, and how that impacts the actions you take and the results that you get. And so, in the group that I just had, we just ran our live program of the Client Creation Queen group program, and people were saying that they just were surprised how much effort it could take to just post on social media, right? Because of all the thoughts, what are my friends going to think? What are my family going to think? Do I want my coworkers to see this? So there's so many places where it's easy to get snagged around mindset. So you definitely want to have something that you're doing on a consistent basis. So someone says affirmations. I love affirmations. Affirmations are so helpful. So a lot of times with the mindset, people are often thinking all the things they can't do. And you might not necessarily be aware of it, until you're voicing it out loud or having a conversation. Like some things like there are already so many coaches out there, or what makes me different, or, it could be a mindset around pricing. But if you can affirm that anything you don't know, you can learn. If you affirm the value, like I provide amazing value. My audience is grateful for me to show up. I love connecting with people on sales calls or discovery calls. I love sharing. I've benefited so much from working with a coach. My clients are going to benefit from working with me. So please feel free in the comments to share what affirmations you feel like have been supporting you on this journey, because if people read them, it's going to be something that they can use as well. So some things that you can do on a regular basis, starting your day off right. And I just listed a few things, but, it could be you have a morning routine or an evening routine. So you're steeping your consciousness, you're steeping yourself on a daily basis. So maybe you do affirmations, or you read things that really inspire you, or listen to a podcast, or maybe you start your day with high vibration music and movement, and that really just gets you in the energy. I know for myself, it used to be, and I've shared this before, that, just, it can feel really vulnerable to hit publish, whether it's a video or maybe you just wrote something really personal and you're ready to share it. And, I know one thing for me, it's like putting my earphones in and listening to music that I really love and dancing to that. It's like, it just gives me a little energy to hit publish. So what are some consistent practices that you do on a daily basis, on a regular basis, that allows you to show up with power, with confidence, with enthusiasm, versus kind of mustering through? So Akosia says, through the holy power of the one God expressing itself as me in this universe, I am overjoyed making an abundant living by using my gifts to help others right now. And so it is. We have to read that one again. Through the holy power of the one God expressing itself as me in this universe, I am overjoyed making an abundant living by using my gifts to help others right now. Type in the comments, and so it is, and so it is. Beautiful. Yolanda says, hi, Kadidja. I've recently started working with I'm Valuable. I provide value to my clients. Such a good one. Stop a minute. If you're watching this, type in the comments, I am valuable. I am valuable. I am so valuable. I provide value, incredible value to my clients. I provide incredible value to my clients. And so it is. Yes, good. And so it is. And so what I love with affirmations, like it's really easy to just say like, I am valuable, right? But to really feel like, stop, take a breath and be like, put your hand on your heart if you like. You don't have to do that, or another part of your body, but just taking a moment to think about, I am valuable. And if you're like, well, I don't know if I'm valuable, why do the people in your life think that you are valuable? But I love that one. Thank you for sharing that, Yolanda. Type a 1 if in the comments, if you're committed to really believing in the value that you provide and the value that you get to offer your clients. I love that you brought up the word value, Yolanda, because that's that could be a mistake. I don't even want to call it a mistake. Is one of the biggest things that slows people down from getting clients is not truly believing in the value that they provide. And so one of the ways to switch that is to remember, like, okay, why am I even doing this work in the first place? Most people pick a niche, which we'll be talking about in a moment. Most of the time, people are helping people with things that either they have gone through themselves and they've overcome, or like it's something that they're really passionate about. So the thing that you're helping your clients with, or your potential clients with, why do you think that is so valuable? What becomes possible for them, for your clients, when they're able to have a breakthrough? So I'm just looking at the 2 names here. So like Yolanda, as I know that you're a virtual assistant, what becomes possible for a business owner or, the clients that you work with when they have quality help assistance on their side, where they can get the support that they need so that they're not spreading themselves too thin, doing everything, and they have someone who's actually an expert to support them in succeeding in their business? What is possible for them? How many hours will you free up for them? How much stress might you free up for them by being able to support them? And so, Akosia, I know that you do psychic clairvoyant readings. You are an expert in Akashic records. Like, what becomes possible for your clients when they're able to tap into their own intuitive knowing or into a higher knowing? What is possible for them? So it's like the more you get in touch with what's possible, the results that are possible for your clients, whether you're in the weight loss niche or the relationship niche or the money niche. Let's say that you're a money coach and someone's been really, they're not a good saver. What becomes possible for them when you, as a money coach, make saving fun for them and it's now a natural habit for them? What is possible in their life? So much opens up. So I really love these affirmations that you shared here. And whatever tools, there's so many tools out there to work with the subconscious mind, whether that's hypnosis or EFT or NLP, but you have to be doing something And I don't mean like you have to be doing something and it should feel like dread and work, but we're human. Most of the people that follow me tend to have a more sensitive orientation, just like me, and so by doing consistent work on yourself, whether it's affirmations, you're setting yourself up to win and thrive. So our next mistake, I guess our final mistake, is mistake number 4, which is not having a clear niche. So you want to be sure that who you help and what you help people with is very clear, because if you are not clear, then people aren't going to get what you do. And there's a difference between, being online and offline. So I know for me, when I first started my coaching practice, I didn't have a clear niche. You can get clients. Yolanda says, I love structured woo. I know, right? Type a 1 in the comments if you love structured woo. You're like, can I just get paid to do structured woo? Yes, you can. So when I first started, I did not have a niche. I was calling myself a life coach, and I had different clients doing different things, and so I've seen this a lot in my practice, where the person's getting clients, but they don't have a niche. And so sometimes you can get clients because you already have people in your world who like you and know you, they trust you, they already kind of see you as a guide, and you can kind of tailor a package to them. What changes a little bit online is that because there's so much noise, if people don't understand how what you're offering is directly relevant to them, they're just going to scroll on by. And so you're actually helping your ideal client find you by being really clear about what you help and what you help people with. So it's like, if you help people get out of debt, if you help people lose weight, if you help people have a conscious divorce, like those are all very specific things that people might be Googling. And so be thinking about, is your niche Googleable? Is that a word? Type a 1 in the comments. So you want to be like, what's the specific problem that you solve, or the specific desire that people are looking for a solution around? And so the clearer you can be, the better off and the more you're going to make money. So if it's still kind of vague, people are going to be like, I don't know if I need that. I'm not sure if you can quite help me. But if you can be really clear in your language, and so a good place to start is to think about, which camp do you fall under? So like the most profitable niche, we actually have a video here in the group. I think it's called Your Natural Niche. Yolanda said, I love that my niche is Googleable. Yes, awesome. You want to be thinking about that, because usually that's what people do. Like if you were going to the library, you go on YouTube, you're searching for something specific. So in the case of Ecosia, like people might be looking up, people who know about the Akashic records might be looking for that. People might be looking for specific readings, So the clearer you are in your communication, it also makes it easy for people to refer you business. And, I had a client that I worked with. She said her sister said that, I would love to, refer business to you. I just don't know what you do. Like, I don't know how to tell people what you do. So you being really clear. So one thing that you could do is post even on your social media, or just people that like, do you know what I do? Like, can you just break it down? Like, what do you think I do? You might be surprised that people might be like, well, I've seen some posts, I think you do this, or they might not know at all. So I wanted to mention the four most profitable niches. And don't worry, you don't have to feel like you have to be in them, but usually you thinking about like, well, what do people complain the most about? So one is, the relationship. So relationships are not just partner relationships. It could be divorce coaching. It could be, parenting coaching. So that's one camp, and you could do kind of elimination. It's okay. So I'm not in the relationship camp. Another is like the money, career, business. And so that could be like money, it could be accounting, career, could be job, could be helping people negotiate raises, it could be business coaching. So like even though they might seem like, oh, I don't know if I quite fit there, there's a wide range of suitable, categories that I'm sure you could find for yourself. So we said relationship, which encompasses a lot. It could even just be someone who wants to get into a relationship, or someone, it could be also include sex, sexuality coaching, tantra. We talked about business, career, finance. There's also like the wellness, which is health, nutrition. It could also be styling. It could be beauty. And then there's spiritual. And the spiritual could be, maybe you're a minister, maybe you're a practitioner, maybe you're an intuitive or a psychic or a reader. And so I know there's a virtual assistant. So I would say that might be in the business career category. And so you want to know, like, I help people who are struggling with this or are looking for this, do a specific thing so that they can achieve a specific result. And so you can find out more on that in I think it's called How to Discover Your Natural Niche. And there's a video on that if you need support with your niche there. So I'd love to open it up for comments, if anyone has one. But the last thing I wanted to say about niche too is that what are people already coming to you for? What are people already, asking you about? Like most people who are coaches, healers, and guides, their audience or the people in their life are already coming to them for something. And so that could be a very helpful thing to look at. Like, what do people ask me about the most? What are the themes that I'm seeing? Because sometimes the niche can feel so difficult to narrow in on because people worry about leaving people out. Let me just hear what Yolanda said. Oh my God, you nailed it on the head. My sister actually said that to me about not knowing how to refer me because she wasn't sure what I did. That is so interesting, that your sister said that. Yes, I hear that a lot because sometimes you're so close to what it is that you do. Especially if you, like I said, a lot of people that are here do a lot of personal growth at work, business development. And so you're so steeped in it, you might think that other people get it. So it's really common for people to use jargon or flowery language. Like I know I still sometimes do that. And I have to be like, okay, how can I simplify it and make it even more clear? Because people don't necessarily Google, how can I flower as a woman, right? There might be other words that they say. Akosia says, thank you. As I've started posting on Insta, I think I will now think a lot more about whether or not I'm really telling people what I do. Yes, it takes a lot of practice to get in the habit of telling people what you do. Every time I do a video, I literally say, hi, my name's Kadidja, and I tell people what I do again, because you never know if you have new people watching, or maybe they're watching the video later. And I've shared before, I remember I took a business class, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and we had to stand up and literally stand up. I think we were a room of maybe 15 to 20 women. We had to stand up and do our elevator pitch. And I just did not enjoy it. And most of the other women in the group did not enjoy it too. But the truth is that we have to introduce ourselves and tell people what we do, which is what this is about, right? 4 common mistakes that slow people down from increasing their coaching income. One of them is just what you said, is just not letting people know what you do over and over again. And it's not in a forceful way, but again, you never know who's new that's listening to you. And maybe the people that do know what you do, maybe they forgot and maybe they have a need for your services now. So someone says, as a new money coach, I'm just kind of cutting my teeth and finding out who my niche client is. It says it's something throat seems to develop. I wonder if it's something hard to develop. Thoughts? Thank you. You're a new money coach, so I would want to ask you more questions. Like, I don't know if you've Have you already had clients? Are you trying to get your first clients? Have you had practice clients? One of the best ways I would be interested in knowing, like, what do you feel most called to teach? And then one of the things as a new money coach, I'm just kind of cutting my teeth and finding out who my niche client is. It's something that seems to develop. You're still trying to develop. Yeah. So one of the things that I help clients with is getting clear on their niche. So what you want, I would start with is like, well, what do you want to share as a money coach? What would be really fun for you? If you've already worked with people, she said, I have a client and in certification. Like, yeah, so what are you helping your client with? So there's two things. One is, it's like, we always want to look at, like, where does our passion, like what we like to do, meet what the market is looking and seeking. And so market research is a great tool. I started my program, the Client Creation Queen program, because my clients or potential clients, people that were coming into my community, were asking me if I could help them get clients. And so for you, what is it that you don't have to answer this right now, but like, what are you helping this specific client with? Is that something that you'd want to help more people with? So I would start with, like, what about money coaching would you want to focus on? And there's so much. And you could start interviewing people, asking people what their challenges and struggles are with money. And so that could be a great place to start, to put that out there. I was just going to share with you all that if you identify with any of these mistakes that I covered today and you're looking to get support, because we are not designed to do it alone. And it takes a lot of support to take courageous action. And if you're looking for structure, I'd love to invite you to schedule a free 15-minute Client Creation Queen call with me or a member of my team to see how we can support you and even help you take a next step, even if you don't continue working with us. So you can do that by going to manifestclientsnow.com/call. So for the Facebook user, I didn't see your name, but for the money coach, you can do polls, like polls in groups. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to money? Asking people, even in your certification program, even if they're not your ideal client, or just put a call out on Facebook, like, hey, I'd love to talk to a few people. I'm doing some market research I'm just picking debt as a category. It might not be debt. It might be something else. It might be investing. I'd love to find out more about my community and what could support them in feeling like an empowered investor. So I just picked that topic. I don't know what your preferred topic is, but we'd be happy to talk more about that in a 15-minute call. So that is what I have for you today. I'll just quickly go over the 4 mistakes that we talked about. One is not marketing enough. So we talked about committing to the end. And one of the things that supports, you're so welcome. One of the things that supports committing to the end is, having people around you. So whether that's an accountability partner, I have 2, an accountability buddy, a coach, a program, because it can feel vulnerable to put yourself out there. So market to the end. And we know when we're not marketing enough. Like, I know when I'm not marketing enough. And, that's okay. Sometimes we're tired, or, maybe one time you're able to put out way more energy, and, another season you're just at a different place. Someone says, I don't like marketing and selling. How do I overcome that? I don't want to be salesy. Yeah, so I think that, so remember we talked about affirmations today. So even if you believe in this moment that you don't like marketing, there's an opportunity for a reframe, for a shift in perspective, that maybe you don't like marketing because you don't know enough about it. Maybe you don't know how to do it. But ask yourself, like, do I want to share what I'm doing with more people? Would I like to get clients? And so maybe for you right now, the I love marketing affirmation isn't quite quite realistic, because we want to pick affirmations that feel genuine. Like, have there been any times, like, the truth is we're marketing all the time. We just don't, it's different when you're marketing for yourself. So like, if you go see a good movie, people are always marketing movies that they just saw that they really love. They're like, oh my God, you got to see this. So type 1 in the comments if, you share with people in your life when something's really good. You're like, I had, like, there's a spa that I like to go to. I'm like, oh my God, that's where you have to go. So that's marketing. That's telling someone about something that is really great. And so I feel like there's an opportunity for a reframe about, like, I'm willing to get good at marketing. I'm willing to learn what I don't know. I believe in the product or the service that I'm selling. I'm willing to be brave. I'm willing to share what I do. I'm willing to believe in myself. I'm willing to believe in the value that I provide. So maybe, I think at the end, marketing and sales is sharing. And if we're pushing, we're actually not listening, and we're not exercising good coaching skills, because I think there's similar skills that a good salesperson and a good coach has. And so one is deep listening, right? So we're listening not just to the words that someone is saying, but we're listening to all the other cues. Like, if we see them in person, we probably can tell, like, oh, I noticed that your arms are crossed, right? Or I noticed that you had a dip in energy when you were talking about that. So a good marketer or a good salesperson really is a good listener, and they care about what the person on the other end needs and wants, and they're not just trying to push a sale. I've never, ever, I sincerely mean that, I never have worked with anyone who just cared about the sale. Like, I know that you're here because you care about what you do and you genuinely want to help people. So sometimes it can just be useful to switch the word marketing to share. Like, I'm committed to sharing 2 to 3 times a week. Well, actually, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Right? I'm committed to sharing 3 to 4 times a week. I'm committing to showing up. And so I think the first thing is to shift our perspective. And then the second thing is to get more training. So it's like, I've learned over the years how to become a better marketer and how to sell. And so there are things to learn. So the 2 pieces is reframe how you're viewing marketing and sales, because if you don't, it's going to be that's going to slow down income. And the second thing is to fill in the gaps for where you could learn more and get support, so that you have both. You have the support and the strategy to know what to do. So that's what I got for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I so feel your energy, and I love the affirmations. And if any others come up, I'd love to have you post them in the comments. So if I am amazing at marketing, yeah, let's just say that, even if you don't believe it yet. Just try it on. Try that affirmation on for size, that, or I'm an honest marketer. I love getting my services to the people who need it. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, type them in the comments, and you're so welcome, Akosia. And if you'd like to book a 15-minute call with me or a member of my team, we have the link in the comments as well. And I will see you next time. All right.